Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, students, today in this occasion, we will discuss about semantics. And what is our last discussions in the last weeks? Okay, we have discussed about syntax, which is the study of sentence structure, and we also have discussed about morphology, which is the study of word formations, and we have discussed also in the first is about phonology. Phonology is the study of speech sound. Okay, and in this occasion, we will discuss about semantics. What is semantics? Semantics. Okay. And when we say semantics, it is we are dealing with meaning. Semantics means meaning, the study of meaning in language. Next is the study of relationship between signs and symbols. What we have discussed about in our earlier meeting, the signs and symbol also language. Signs and symbols, both of them also language. What they represent. When we have a symbol of no park here or no parking here, what actually it means like this. And then when we find a sign and symbol and represent about meaning, and it represents about meaning, then the study discuss about semantics. The study of science that deals with meaning. Okay. Usually in semantic we will find those terms. Those are the scope when we are focusing on semantic fields. We will find about symbol and referent, denotation, connotation and implication, ambiguity, metaphor and similar, synonymy and antonyms, hyponymy, metonymy, homophone, homonym, polysim, and homograph. Okay, and we will discuss in one by one. The first is about symbol and referent. Symbol is something which we use to represent another thing, something that which we use to represent another thing. Okay, it may be a picture, spoken or written word. For example, a picture, when I have a picture of what is it? For example, book. For example, picture of book. Okay, this picture is symbol. When I say a book, this spoken is symbol. When I read the written book, this written is symbol. Then all of the symbol can be as a picture, spoken, or written word. Okay, to get my point. Okay, and the thing that the symbol identifies is the referent. The real thing that the symbol represent is referent. For example, this is the picture of bus. This picture is symbol. This picture, this picture of bus is symbol. But the real bus is the referent. Okay? Do you get my point? Book. This picture of book is symbol and the real book is referent. Headphone, the picture is symbol and the real headphone is referent. This one also, the sign of the symbol of no parking here, it is a symbol. But the real signs is different. Or the real action of we are not allowed to park here is different. This one also, cat, dog, and the written of this a word or this item is a symbol, but the real thing, the real animal is different. This is about symbol and referent. Next, about denotation, connotation, and implication. Denotation refers to the literal meaning of a word. It is the dictionary meaning, a meaning which is based on dictionary. We say it is denotations. Makna sesungguhnya, or the meaning which is based on dictionary. This denotations. And connotation is refers to the subjective interpretation of words, or there is an emotional suggestions to to represent the item. Okay, connotation, kalau kebalikan dari denotation, kalau denotation itu dia lebih fokus ke makna aslinya atau literal meaningnya, tapi kalau connotation dia sudah dicampuri oleh emotional suggestion. For example gini, what is the meaning of player? Player means someone who plays something. It is based on dictionary. Player means someone who plays something. It is based on dictionary. But the connotation meaning of player is someone who have many girls, for example, or someone who has many boys, for example, someone who loves many girls, for example. It is player. Yang suka memainkan seperti itu. This is player. That's the connotation meaning of player, but the notation meaning or literal meaning of player is someone who plays something like this. Itulah denotation and connotation. Jadi makna connotation itu dia sudah terpengaruhi oleh emotional suggestion atau dia sudah terpengaruhi oleh interpretasi yang berbeda antara subjek satu sama subjek yang lainnya gitu. Jadi dia bukan makna aslinya. An implication is meaning which a speaker or writer intends but does not communicate it directly. The speaker or the writer want to tell something, but what they told is that didn't communicate directly to the hearer. Dia mau ngomong A, tetapi apa yang dia omongkan adalah B. Jadi ada makna yang implisit atau makna tersirat gitu. Dia mau ngomong A tetapi nggak langsung A, tetapi belok dulu ke B dulu gitu. Jadi orang yang mendengarkan dia harus mencerna. Dia sebenarnya mau ngomong apa sih? Makna implisitnya apa sih? Gitu. That's implication. Implication adalah implicit meaning atau makna tersiratnya ya, bukan tersurat, tapi tersirat. Contohnya, I will give you another example. For example, in the word blue. Blue, the denotation meaning of blue is color. It is the meaning which is based on dictionary, color. But the connotation meaning of blue is sadness. I'm in blue. She is feeling blue. I'm in sadness. She is feeling sadness, like this. Jadi arti dari blue antara denotation sama connotation sangat berbeda. And another implication, this the example of implication. Okay, I will give you a context. For example, there are 4 students who have a schedule at 8 o'clock to have a meeting with the client. For example, I'm sorry, there are 4 students who have scheduled to have which have this class schedule with the lecturer at 8 o'clock, but around 7:45 there are no transportation arrived, and suddenly there is a bus from the north directions. Suddenly there is a bus, and one of them said a bus. What actually the meaning of a bus, which is taught by the person A? Okay, that's actually does it mean that, oh, there is a bus, oh, there is a bus, like this? Is that so? No. Oke. Jadi konteksnya adalah ketika ada 4 murid, for example, ada 4 murid nih, A, B, C, D. They have class schedule with lecturer. Dia mempunyai janji dengan dosen untuk bertemu jam 8, dan ketika sampai jam 7:45, there is no any transportation arrived. Gak ada sama sekali kendaraan umum yang sampai di haltenya. And suddenly there is a bus from the north direction. Ada bis dari arah utara nih tiba-tiba. So the person A said a bus. Okay. He said a bus. What actually it means? What actually the intended meaning of the person A? Apa sebenarnya person A ini yang mau ngomong? Apakah person A maksudnya adalah, oh itu dia bis, oh itu lo bisnya? Apakah hanya sekedar seperti itu artinya? No. Maksudnya adalah, that is a bus and let's run. We must run. Karena konteksnya ada janji dengan dosen jam 8, sampai jam segitu belum muncul transportasi apapun, dan tiba-tiba ada sebuah bis. Maka maksud implicit meaningnya, maksud tersembunyi dari si A ngomong seperti itu adalah, ayo kita lari, we must run, we must be quick, gitu, untuk mendapatkan bus tersebut, seperti itu. That's implicit meaning. So she want to tell something, but he didn't confirm it directly. He didn't inform it directly. Next is ambiguity. Ambiguity occurs when a language element has more than one meaning. So we say it as ambiguity that when the sentence or when the clause or when a word has more than one meaning. Okay, ambigu ya, ambiguities mean ambigu. If the ambiguity is in single word, only a word or only single word, we say it as lexical ambiguity. But when the ambiguity is in the form of clause or sentence, then we say it as grammatical or structural ambiguity. For example, this one. A. I promise I'll give you a ring tomorrow. Which one that consists ambiguity here in the sentence? I promise I'll give you a ring tomorrow. The one that has ambiguity is in the word ring. Oke. Karena dia ambigu, berarti dia harus mempunyai dua makna. The first meaning of ring is the real ring. This one is ring, the real ring. Okay. Cincin. The first meaning of ring is cincin. And the second meaning of ring, what is it? The second meaning of ring is, anyone can guess? Call. Okay. I'll give you a ring tomorrow. I'll give you a call tomorrow. That means. Jadi dia mengandung ambiguity karena ring tersebut mengandung dua makna. Makna yang pertama adalah cincin, makna yang kedua adalah call. Next, what do you think of my new fridge? Nina, cool. Which one that consists of ambiguity in the second sentence? Yes, the word cool. What is the first meaning of the word cool here in the sentence? Yes, the first meaning is from the word cool is what is it? Cool, dingin ya. And the second sentence of the word cool, the second meaning of the word cool here is awesome. Okay, ooh, cool, awesome. The next is point C. I know a man with a dog who has flash. Which one that consists of ambiguity in sentence? Okay, the ambiguity is in the word who has flash. This one, who has flash, consists of ambiguity. Okay, what actually it means? The first meaning is I know a man who has flash. The second meaning is I know a dog who has flash. Why who has flash consists of ambiguity? Ya karena dia mempunyai dua makna kandungannya. Yang pertama, siapa nih yang punya kutu? Is it a man or is it a dog? Nah, exactly. So when we say I know a man who has flesh, that's true. And another meaning is I know a dog who has flesh, that's also true. Jadi kandungan ambiguitynya di who has flesh, yang punya kutu. Siapa sebenarnya yang punya kutu? A man-nya kah atau a dog-nya? Who has flesh then consists of structural ambiguity. Dia masuk ke structural ambiguity or grammatical ambiguity. Next, we eat what we can and we can what we can. Oke. Maksudnya apa di sini? Which one that consists of ambiguity here? In the word can. Yes, it is lexical ambiguity. Can, the first meaning of can is capable or able. Can. The second meaning of can means kaleng. Yeah. Arti kedua dari can adalah kaleng. So, kita makan apa yang dikalengkan, oke? Dan kita bisa melakukan apa yang sebenarnya nggak bisa kita lakukan. So, the second clause consists suggestion. Mengandung arti suggestion. Next, about metaphor and simile. Metaphor and simile ini sebenarnya sama ya. Dia teorinya itu sama. Jadi di sini fokusnya metaphor sama simile itu adalah to enjoy the message. Oke. Katanya atau klausanya itu diperbagus atau diperindah to enjoy the message. We say something that literally not applicable. Kayak gitu. Kita mengatakan sesuatu yang tidak pada tempatnya atau tidak semestinya seperti itu. Nah, ada juga yang mengatakan metaphor and simile compare one thing to another thing. So they compare one thing to another thing. For example, he showered her with gifts. Showered. Showered di sini kan dia nggak semestinya digabungkan dengan kata gifts. Karena shower itu lebih identik dengan water. Iya, betul. Tapi di sini shower itu dia gabung dengan gifts. So it is not literally applicable. Maksudnya apa? Dia membandingkan air yang deras dengan I'm sorry, dia membandingkan gifts atau hadiah dengan air yang deras. Maksudnya adalah he memberi hadiah sangat banyak. Makanya dia membandingkan gifts dengan air. Karena terlalu banyaknya hadiah, makanya dia bilang he showered her with gifts. Next, my memory is a little foggy. Yang mengandung metafor di sini kuncinya adalah foggy. Foggy itu kan buat environment harusnya berkabut seperti itu. Tapi di sini dia mengoneksikan dengan memori. Maksudnya apa di sini? Dia membandingkan ingatannya yang sudah mulai kabur seperti halnya dengan kabut begitu. Next, you are my sunshine. Oke, sunshine itu kan harusnya matahari gitu. Gak bisa kita membandingkan, maksudnya nggak bisa kita menganggap diri kita sebagai matahari. Tetapi di sini membandingkan, karena apa namanya? Karena dia ini, you ini adalah role modelnya atau karena dia adalah penyemangat dari si A, for example. Makanya dia bilang you are my sunshine. Suatu hal yang berharga. Next, the snow was a white blanket over the sleepy town. Metafornya adalah white blanket di sini. The snow was a white blanket. Dia membandingkan apa namanya the environment of the high snow with the white blanket because snow is white and dan tebal, makanya dia membandingkan seperti white blanket over the sleepy town. Sleepy towns mean okay, the town that no people what is it stayed in that town. Terlalu sunyi, terlalu sepi, makanya dia membandingkan dengan sleepy town seperti kota yang tidur. Next, he broke my heart. He broke my heart. Broke ini tuh identik dengan hal-hal yang bisa dipecahkan. Piring, gelas itu bisa dipecahkan. He broke my heart. Tapi di sini heart itu nggak bisa dipecahkan. Maksudnya apa? Dia membandingkan dengan hatinya yang tersakiti, berkeping-keping. Makanya ibaratnya tersakiti itu sudah pecah seperti itu ya. Makanya dia memakai istilah broke untuk hatinya. Oke? Nah, ini berbeda sama metafor sama simile ya. Tadi kalau metafor itu that's direct comparison, metaphor is direct comparisons, but simile they use connector to have simile. If metaphor comparing one thing to another thing with a direct comparison, but for simile we use connectors such as like or as. The example is life can be described as a box of chocolate. So we compare the word chocolate with the life, okay, with the connector as. Kita membandingkan kehidupan dan coklat menggunakan konektor as. Kehidupan tuh ibarat a box of chocolate karena nggak bisa ketebak ya gitu. Shine bright like diamond, oke, ada konektor like di situ. They fall like cats and dogs, karena berantemnya terlalu apa namanya terlalu sering atau terlalu hebat, makanya dia membandingkan like cats and dogs. She is kind like an angel. Oke, dia mengibaratkan angel di sini sesuatu hal atau entity yang apa itu yang sangat baik gitu yo. Makanya dia membandingkan karena terlalu baik, makanya dia seperti angel. Oke. Bisa nggak, Miss? Kalau tadi kata antum metafor sama simile itu adalah hal yang sama atau sebenarnya teorinya sama. Cuma bedanya hanya simile itu dia memakai konektor like atau as. Ini dia bedanya. He seemed bright like the sun when I met him last. Yang pertama, dia adalah simile. Kenapa? Karena ada konektor like di situ. Dia membandingkan bright, seem bright dengan matahari. Terlihat cerah, dia membandingkannya dengan matahari. Oke. Tetapi kalau kita ubah apa namanya tuh that sentence to metaphor, jadinya adalah he is the son and the son of the family. That's direct comparison. Gak ada konektor like, gak ada konektor as seperti itu. Contoh lagi, misalkan kita mau mengatakan ada teman kalian misalkan dia sangat susah sekali dibangunkan ketika tidur gitu. The boy was so tired that he slept all night without waking up gitu. Jadi bagaimana kita menggunakan similar in that sentence? Ketika kita ubah menjadi similar, dia menjadi the boy was as sleepy as a bear in hibernation that night. He didn't wake once. Itu similar. Kita menggunakan konektor as di situ. As sleepy as a bear. Tapi kalau metaphor, dia jadinya the boy was a bear. Langsung ya. Jadi kalau metaphor, there is no any connector or there is no any what is it? It is direct comparison between one thing to another thing. Dia seperti seekor beruang, seperti. Nah, itu adalah similar. Tetapi kalau dia seekor beruang, langsung direct comparison, itu bisa masuk ke metaphor kayak gitu. Next, about synonymy and antonyms. Kalian sudah paham ya about synonymy and antonym. For example, is big and huge, difficult and hard gitu. Nah, oke. Hyponym sekarang. Oke, hyponym. What is hyponym? Hyponym, the meaning of a word. I'm sorry. Hyponym is a term used to designate a particular member of a broader class. Jadi hyponym itu untuk menjelaskan a particular member of a broader class. When I say the word transportation, and we will have a bus, pedicab, motorcycle, the bus, pedicab, and motorcycle is included in the hyponym. And the broader class, transportation is hyponym. Jadi hyponym itu adalah cabangnya, oke, cabangnya. But hyponym is the broader class atau umbrellanya, payungnya. Another example, when I say the word rose, rose is the hyponym of flower. Flower is the broader class. The broader class is hyponym. Okay, and the particular member of its class is hyponym. So rose, what is a violet, lily, it is hyponym, and flower is hypernym. Hyponym and hypernym. Hypernym for the broader class and hyponym for the particular class. Next is the metonymy. Metonymy, when the meaning refers to something that is associated to it. Okay, meaning refers to something that is associated to it. Okay, when we want to say something, but we refers to say this thing that have associate meaning to the first thing, it is metonymy. For example, when you want to buy mineral water in the shop, what you want to say? What will you say to buy this mineral water? You will prefer to say aqua rather than excuse me, I want to buy mineral water. No, but you will prefer to say excuse me, do you have aqua? Ya kan, biasanya kan seperti itu. Jadi misalkan kalian mau membeli air putih di toko, ya kan, biasanya kan mengatakan ada aquanya bu, gitu. Daripada padahal yang kalian beli bukan aqua, yang kalian beli adalah Club, Amida, seperti itu. Kenapa? Kenapa kok kalian lebih memilih bilang aqua? Because aqua mempunyai mineral water, air putih mempunyai makna yang terasosiasi dengan aqua gitu. Karena zaman dulu itu adalah aqua adalah produk pertama mineral water, makanya kita lebih memilih menggunakan aqua. Pun hanya ketika kita membeli misalkan pasta gigi, kita akan langsung beli Bu Pepsodentnya seperti itu daripada kita Bu Ciptaden, Bu apalagi itu. Nah, that's metonymy. Okay, this is a sample. Just new ride was expensive. The word ride here refers to motorcycle. This one we will see the best Hollywood. Hollywood here means Western movie. Okay. Okay. Next is homophone. Homophone having the same pronunciation but different meanings. That's homophone. The same pronunciations but different meanings and different spelling. Example: eight and eight, I and I, buy, bear and bear. I ask for questions and I ask for questions. Semuanya memiliki pronunciation yang sama, but all of them have different meanings and different spellings. That's mean homophone. Homo means same, phone means sounds. Then who have same sounds, we say it's homophone. Next is homonym. Homonym, each of two or more words having the same spelling and pronunciation but different meanings. So when we have same spelling and same pronunciation, both of them are same but different meaning, we say it as homonym. Okay, can and light. The bed is pretty light, and if you can you turn on the light? Light and can. The next is polysemy. Polysemy is a single word with more than one word meaning. Single word, but have more than one worded meaning. For example, is in the word head. My head hurts. Head mean part of a body, and she is the head of department, mean chief. Both of them have the same meaning, which is in the top of place. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Do you get my point about head? Head has more than one related meaning. Polysemy has more than one related meaning. Head, part of body, and head as chief of department. And both of them has same rooted meaning, which is in the top of place. Okay. And next is about the homograph. Homograph is the oppositions of homophone. Homograph. Homo means same. Graphs mean written or spelling. Yes, same writing. For example, is desert. Some plants have adapted to life in the dry desert. In the first sentence, desert means gurun pasir. Okay, and the next is the soldier was accused of deserting his post. Desert in the second is living. Okay. Next, tear and tears, tear and tears. Okay, both of them have the same written. And this is the next example. Das is the female version of the plural deer. Oh, we say das. Or das about the verb or the actions. And next about the seconds about the hour or the time. And the next second is about the possessions. Okay. Okay, students, they're also about the materials, and this is about the additional informations. Okay, besides of what is it? Those materials that have been discussed. There is also another terms that sometimes the researchers use this kind of analysis. The first about the peripheral clustering. Peripheral clustering. It is about the cluster. The clustering or peripheral clusterings means even though we use many words or many terms, but both of them refers to one entity. For example, the morning paper is available in the library. The first meaning of paper here is not literal paper, but it is newspaper, yes. The second is she presents her paper in the conference. What means by paper in the second sentence? It is about journal, yes, about this journal, about analysis. And the third, this bag is made of recycled paper. This is about literal paper. Both of them, the first, second, and third paper, they refers to one entity, which is paper itself. Yeah. And the next about the figurative language, okay. Most of students sometimes also choose this kind of analysis in this thesis about figurative language. You can analyze the metaphor, simile, hyperbole, personification, or maybe the idiom. Uh, in other media, you can choose the media that you want to analyze. It can be in the movie, novel, newspaper, um, Instagram or social media. You can also use it. Next is about the collocative meaning. Collocative meaning, when we say, for example, when we say the word pretty, then it collocates with the word handsome. Pretty and handsome. There is no any pretty and ugly, or I'm sorry, pretty and what is it, gentleman? No. Yeah, but pretty always collocates with the word handsome. Pretty and handsome. Father and mother. What is another collocations for a sample for collocations? Um, mm, pen and book, for example, like this. Okay, so both of them collocates to create one meaning. Pretty and handsome create good looking. Okay, pretty and handsome means good looking. Like this. That's additional informations. Okay, students, if you have any questions, please do ask me on Telegram, or you can ask me also on WhatsApp, or we'll discuss it more deeply in the next meeting. Okay, thank you so much for these occasions in my meeting. See you again next week, inshallah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.